Okay, good morning everybody. We're going to try this out, see how it works. I want to talk to you a little bit about putting your grid on your paper. And I know I already asked you to do that, but many of you did an awesome job. And some need a little bit of assistance. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and make sure it's lined up right against the edge of the paper. And put marks at the top at every inch. And then we're going to put marks at the bottom. If you notice it's not quite 9 inches, that's okay. You don't have to worry about that. We're just going to make sure we make our measurements from the other side of the paper. So we're going to try to get an inch mark on each one, top and bottom. And this part's really important because it's going to keep your grid pretty accurate, because the more accurate your grid is, the better your drawing is going to be. So I'm going to turn the paper, and then I'm going to connect the dots here. And we'll just connect them to each other. And I'm just using a regular number 2 pencil, which actually is an HB pencil if we were using them at school. And I'm sure you guys don't have a full set of drawing pencils, so we're going to do what we can. And you also notice I'm not drawing it very heavy. I'm trying to keep a light hand on the grid, because what's going to happen is we're going to eventually erase the grid, so we don't want it to be too dark. If you did your grid and it's pretty dark, go through with an eraser and lighten it up before you start drawing on it. That'll make things a lot easier. Once you have this first set done, then you keep the paper horizontally and make sure you're lined up at the edge, and you're going to take and mark it a small mark. The shorter the marks you make, some of these might be a little too long, the shorter the marks you make, the more accurate it's going to be, because if you go with a real long mark, you don't know where it's supposed to start. So you make a real small mark there. And then we're going to take it and move our paper to the bottom. Make sure our ruler's straight. You don't want our ruler, not straight. It should be parallel to the paper. And then we're going to make marks here along the edge. So if you had a little bit of difficulty having an accurate, hope I'm not in the way, having an accurate grid, it might be worth the extra 10 minutes or so to draw your grid again, because the more accurate the grid, the better. So I'm just going to turn my paper and I'm going to connect the dots. So you want to pay attention. You don't want to just kind of willy-nilly it. You want to make sure that you line up your paper, line up the grid, and go from there. Normally, in a regular classroom situation, we'd have a bigger piece of paper than this, and we'd be able to make our markings outside of the drawing. But we're really not going to be able to do that at this point. So we're just going to kind of work our way here. Alrighty, so that worked out pretty good. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. If you look at your grid and it has some squares that are bigger than others, some that are crooked, you want to really do yourself a favor and create a grid that is as accurate as possible, because the more accurate you have, the better your grid's going to look. So there you go. I'll be back in a second to continue.